Hello, my beautiful and flawsome warriors. Welcome. It's so good to be here. I just want to tell you a little bit of what's been going on in my world. I'm currently working on my second certification for complex trauma and complex PTSD. Due to the extensiveness of the program and all the information that is being researched and found, it's probably going to take me about a year to 18 months to finish that. And actually, I'm okay with that because I want to make sure that I have the up-to-date information. So not only am I learning from myself, but I can educate my clients as well. So between studying, coaching, my family, God above all, of course, and then my self-care regimen, you can see that my availability is few and far between. But when God lays a topic on my heart, I take the time to educate you all because there's a reason it needs to be shared. There's somebody out there that actually needs to hear this. So before I get started, let me tell you about a few things. I am not a medical professional. I cannot treat, cure, diagnose, or prescribe any type of medication. What I am, though, is an international certified trauma recovery life coach. And the information that I have detailed here is from my own life experiences, research, and education. And the education is set forth for trauma warriors who have endured abuse and neglect pertaining to childhood. Although it's not limited to that, there are many traumas people endure that can affect this as well. The reason that I said childhood abuse and neglect is because that is where my niche is, and going on my own life experiences, I struggle with this topic because of my childhood abuse and neglect. So that is why that is in there. I just wanted to let you know that. There are many reasons people hold their breath, but I'm here to bring awareness and light to the trauma world. These videos are done to educate trauma warriors and the world around us on why we do the things that may seem abnormal to some. But remember, we are human, we are warriors, and we matter. Be the light in the darkness for the trauma warriors. Today I want to talk to you about the importance of breathing. I already know what you're going to think, and what you're thinking is breathing is a vital part of our lives and we do it automatically. And you're absolutely right, we do. But it's different for trauma warriors. Big difference, because trauma warriors live in survival mode. And if you haven't dealt with significant trauma or gone through any type of trauma, you're not going to know exactly what survival mode is. But let me tell you, I have lived in survival mode for probably about 30 years. I'm sorry, probably even longer than that. It's probably been about maybe 40 years actually that I've lived in survival mode, and it's not a fun place to be. Now that I'm working with my own trauma life coach, survival mode is not where you want to be. You really want to shift out and into thrive mode. You want to thrive and not just survive. And we can speak about that later on. But what happens is most live in the state and do not recognize it, exactly what I said. They go on with life as they think is normal, when realistically speaking, they are not thriving. Trauma warriors live in fight or flight most of the day. Can you imagine having adrenaline rushings and cortisol dumps several times throughout the day? Just think of how you would feel if it happens even once. And how you can do this, or not even, I don't want you to experience it, but what happens is your body senses a threat or a danger. The one thing that I can tell you is if somebody's chasing you, you automatically get an adrenaline rush. Your hands sweat, your heart starts racing, and all of a sudden you get an adrenaline rush and you run. So that is fight or flight. That's pretty much what fight or flight is. For a normal person, that's okay. But for a trauma survivor, what ends up happening is it can take days or weeks. It can take hours or days to calm down from that. And it's no fun whatsoever. It's kind of like having like anxiety, the jitteriness from anxiety. Your body is just like constantly doing this on the inside, and there's nothing you can do. And it's not the greatest feeling, let me tell you. So also, trauma warriors, their bodies are constantly tense and on edge, and they find themselves subconsciously holding their breath, which means they don't even know that they're doing it until this voice pops up and says, hey, guess what? You're not breathing. So then they think, oh, okay, and then you just start breathing again. And I've had that happen to me, but I didn't realize that it was pertaining to trauma. I just thought, well, you know what? I'm just holding my breath for a second. Okay, there you go. But little did I know is that breathing, I know it has positive effects, but I didn't realize it had negative effects on our health as well. And so I want to educate you on a few things pertaining to this. Breathing is natural, and if you find yourself holding your breath, There are many ways to overcome that small hurdle. You are in good hands, my warriors. So here's some of the benefits of breathing. I have a longer list, but I just kind of narrowed this down to some of the things that I thought were most important. So the benefits of breathing helps you stay alert. It stimulates your brain activity. It increases memory. It boosts concentration, raises your energy levels, improves strength, builds endurance, reduces stress, calms anxiety, and strengthens your immune system. So just think about this. If you're running and you're exercising, you're running to build your endurance, and as you're running, you don't breathe. You fatigue quickly, don't you? So that's why breathing is so important when you are exercising or anything like that. But again, as trauma warriors, what ends up happening is we there's still a sense of us that's being triggered, and then we don't know exactly what's going on. So we'll get to that in just a minute. And so there's times that when we stop breathing and we hold our breath, I should say, we don't stop breathing, but we do hold our breath, which is a form of not breathing. It's voluntary because it's an after effect of the trauma that we endured, and that's part of the survival mode. Your lack of breath. You can have temporary memory loss, difficulty paying attention, cognitive impairment, personality changes, muscle spasms, vision problems. So there's a few things. There was a little bit more, but these were the ones that I thought were most important to recognize. Because think about it, if you're not breathing and your body's not getting the right oxygen, it changes your personality. You become this monster. So especially if you're not sleeping well and things like that, or you're triggered throughout the day. This is all types of things that have effects on us, and especially lack of breath is one of the biggest things. So what I want to tell you is I don't want you to be alarmed with what was mentioned. There are many ways to identify if in fact you do hold your breath. You'll need some sort of device that monitors your O2 levels and can show where there was loss of breath. I'm not affiliated with any of these, nor am I endorsed. But maybe an Apple Watch or a Fitbit are two options. I'm not exactly sure how they would monitor, but that might be something that you might be able to check into, or maybe another device. So what you want to do is you want to be able to watch your breathing, and then if you stopped. So just to be able to watch the line, because what that's going to tell you is this. So as a trauma warrior, if you notice you hold your breath, this is a survival mode technique that aided you during those hard times. It's a trigger response. So try to identify what you were doing, listening to, watching your surroundings, and who you were around. And what this does is it helps us identify what could be triggering you and bring to light the reasons we hold our breath. So when you're triggered, it sends this response to the brain that there's a threat. And if you're used to holding your breath when there's a threat or danger of some sort, if you're being triggered, that's why you're holding your breath. So now that I see all this, the wonderful thing is that I'm going to start doing this as well, because I acknowledge that I do that, and I do it when I'm triggered. And so I have been able to identify some of the triggering areas and working on that. I haven't used a device or anything like that, but I catch myself because obviously the voice in my head says breathe. And that's kind of what I go by, and then I look and figure out what I'm doing, who's around me, what am I watching, what am I listening to, because those are all things that can have a negative impact on us and actually trigger us. So when we are able to work on those triggers and normalize our breathing, which increases our health and well-being, it's incredibly important for optimal health. So we know that. So that's why we want to work on getting the triggers under control, because once we can get them identified and under control, it'll help with the breathing, because you're going to learn to switch from survival into thriving, and then your breathing, you're not going to have to worry about that anymore. And so when you breathe, breath work is an amazing tool to have as a resource. It helps to learn techniques that can help calm the nervous system down. This is another important aspect for recovery for trauma warriors. If you find yourself tense or sluggish throughout the day, I want to teach you a technique to help regulate the nervous system and calm you down. It helps to keep us focused and alert, and it's called the 4 steps breathing. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to count in your mind 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold it for 2 seconds, and then you're slowly going to exhale from your nose, and you're going to count downward. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I want you to do this 5 times. And this is a wonderful exercise that you can do, and you can do this actually periodically throughout the day as a pick-me-up. If you feel your nervous system is just kind of on edge, and actually what it does again is it resets and regulates your nervous system to help you calm down and then make you more alert. So it's actually amazing. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to count in your mind 1, 2, 3, 4. You can even count on your fingers if you want. You're going to hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2. And then you're going to exhale from your nose and count downward. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're done. And you're going to do that 5 times. You can do it 10 times if you want. It's entirely up to you. But 5 times is usually most effective. But if you feel like it's not working, then I would try it and do a couple more of them and see kind of, what helps you, because everybody is different. Another technique for calming is tapping. This is great for people that are maybe in meetings and you're doing the breathing technique. That's something that you can do, and most people won't know you're doing it. But another technique that I absolutely love is called tapping. And I like to do tapping on my legs so no one can see me do it. And I'll show you a couple ways that you can do it. You won't be able to see me do it on my legs, but tapping on the shoulders. So tapping on the shoulders like this. And what this does, excuse me, is it actually takes your mind off what's happening up here, and it deflects it down so you can feel what you're doing. I want you to be able to feel that you're tapping yourself, because it kind of knocks you out of that dysregulation and brings your body back to that calm state, because you're reflecting the attention onto something else. So this is what I do, but I do it on my legs, usually on the sides of my legs, or I rub myself. On my arms or my legs, and that helps me to deflect what's going on up here, and I'm able to make that, I'm able to deflect that onto my arms or my legs or something. Another thing that you can do is you can take your hands and you can kind of like, not pinch that you're going to give yourself any marks, but just lightly kind of pinch yourself like a massage type thing. And you can do that. You can do it, on the palm of your hands or anything like that. And what that's going to do, it does the same thing. And this one here is kind of like you're massaging your hands. And so it's actually like a relaxation technique as well. And so those are a couple things that you can do to help reset your nervous system throughout the day and kind of give me a pick-me-up. I do know some people have asked me in the past about if they wear bracelets and then kind of slapping the bracelets. I would not recommend that because that may be re-traumatizing to you. Hearing that slapping could resemble a smacking, and actually that could be triggering to you. So as a trauma recovery life coach, I would highly recommend that you probably don't do that or anything like that. Again, the techniques that I showed you, they can be used throughout the day. And like I said, in meetings and or anything like that, and nobody's going to be able to tell what you're doing. If you have any time, if at any time you have some unanswered things that are welling up that you can't explain, I'd absolutely be more than happy to schedule a free discovery call and be honored to walk alongside you. Knowing someone who understands your place, your journey, your history is vital in recovery from trauma. We all need that someone who has walked in our shoes and can stand next to us on our journey. I know finding my own trauma coach was the best thing in my recovery journey. God placed her at the right time, at the right moment that I needed her. It hasn't been all peaches and cream, but nonetheless, I'm shifting from survival to thriving. I'm learning so much about myself, celebrating those victories, but most importantly, I'm understanding me now. That was huge for me, and that is how recovery works. I hope and pray you find your right modality coach you are longing for. All coaches, unfortunately, aren't a fit for all warriors, but nonetheless, we all bring different perspectives, education, resources, and life experiences to the table. If at any time you do feel you need a trauma recovery life coach, and I'm not saying I'm a fit for everybody, but I don't want you to feel like you have to go out and try to find your own life coach. If you need one, let me know. I can certainly help you out and try to find one and alleviate that stress for you, because I work with some amazing, knowledgeable coaches. So all you have to do is reach out to me, and I would absolutely love to be able to connect you with another phenomenal coach. And as always, a huge thank you for supporting me in my ministry of coaching. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my page by clicking the bell. And then I think it says all, if I'm not mistaken. And that way there, you don't miss any content I post and are the first to be notified. Also, if you could do me a favor and help spread the word to other trauma warriors to let them know they are not alone by sharing my video to maybe your social media accounts, if you have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, a wide array of social medias, I would certainly appreciate it more than you ever would know. Feel free to leave me a comment or a question below, and I will answer those for you too. If there's a certain topic you'd like to hear about, mention that too. And as always, warriors, be blessed, be balanced, because you are the light that matters. Have a good night, guys. Much love to all.